Hey, Tony guys here popping in with another episode of Talks with Tony. Now I'll be trying my best to get these here on out and maybe shooting some from different little places this weekend. We'll see. But we're gonna jump right in. This one look like it's a decent amount. And it says, question, is it too late? This might be a mashup, just depending on how long a letter take. I have not read this at all, so hopefully it's something. Hi, Tony. I'm sorry this is a lot, but I genuinely don't know what to do. I met this guy 2 years ago on a dating app. At first, I wasn't sure about him. He's extremely nice, sweet, believes in God, prays daily, and comes from a family of believers. Things were going great, built a great connection, and we're there for each other equally. I always knew if I needed him, I could call him anytime he would be there. We weren't in a relationship yet. About a year and a half ago, he felt discouraged in finding a career and he had to file bankruptcy. So he decided to join the army. I was devastated when he did. So when he left a year ago, I jumped into a relationship with someone. I know I shouldn't have ever up being a bad relationship. I know I shouldn't have it. She got some typos. I'm trying to kind of read through them and see what she's saying. I knew I shouldn't have. It ended up being a bad relationship where I was physically ill. I had to move because he was stalking me, wouldn't leave me alone. As the relationship got bad, I was trying to get away. He gotten out of boot camp, started contacting me, checking on me, was there for me while I was going through this horrible time, even though it was just over the phone because he was sent to training and then immediately sent to another country. He's always checked on me. We have never went more than a week without talking. A few months ago, we somehow decided I would send him money for investments and he was going to pay me back in 4 months with interest. He just came in town on leave, showed up at my house to surprise me in December. I was happy things were great, but turned him down, didn't sleep with him that night. 2 days later, we hung out. Then he asked if I could buy him groceries because he was in a situation. He was staying with his family while in town, didn't want to ask them for help. I did. Then because I felt we were more on a friend level at this point, he knows I love him, want a relationship. He told me a few months prior that what we have now is more important than a relationship at this point because he's in another country and stuck in the army for 2 more years. So I told him if I get into a relationship, then we can no longer talk. He got upset, didn't understand why, after all this time, I just cut him out of my life. I told him because I have feelings and it's not right. I can't move forward with someone, have him in my life. He wasn't happy. I could see he was upset, but he just said whatever. Then he started being distant. Then my ex I was in the relationship with ends up calling him, harassing him, stalking me. He got very upset over that. I had to have him violated for breaking a restraining order again. So that made this situation worse. I did take him to the airport to go back. We had a conversation about it and everything was good. Then his flight got canceled. I briefly met up with him again. We talked after he had an attitude with me, which he's never had before when we were texting after just being different. He left, didn't tell me, so I wrote him a long text telling him how I felt, told him he just used me for money, was being different, and he changed, and I was upset. He told me he didn't use me for money, was sending me all the money he borrowed back with extra because he doesn't want me to feel that way. He's sorry. I just said, thank you, haven't talked since, but that was over a week ago. I don't want to be with anyone. I'm hurt. He left me. And I know maybe I was wrong for telling him I was going to cut him out of my life, but I don't know where his head is because he don't tell me. I know him constantly checking on me every few days and was a good sign, but I don't want to be that person who waits on someone to come back. I know he feels long distance relationship probably won't work, and I feel the same, but I think I might have ruined things. He was like my best friend too. That's how close we were. I can see he looks at our messages daily on WhatsApp because it tells you when the person last seen it, but he doesn't say anything. What should I do? You should go on about your business, sister. You should go on about your business. Because now he wasting all our time. You need to go on about your business. I'll let y'all in the comments help her out. I'm too drained for that. I'm too drained to help. I told y'all about meeting these men online and then sending the men money. I can't even speak to it. I can't even speak to it. Sis, you got to cut the man all the way off. You got to love yourself. Move on with your life. Come on now. Come on now. Let me see. This one real short. I don't think what this is. Somebody sending a meme. Interesting. Or it's a joke or something that could be useful. Let me see. Next letter. Hi, Tony. I hope all is well. And as always, I want to say thank you for all that you do. I will get straight to the point. My child's father and I met in 2018. Towards the end of 2020, I got pregnant. But in January of 2021, I discovered that he had been cheating on me with another woman. I broke things off with him and haven't looked back since then. He wanted to stay together, but that would have required me being okay with him being involved with another woman while also being involved with me, and I was not interested in the slightest. Today we are on better terms, and by that I mean we get along for the most part for the sake of our child. Well, sometimes he says, love y'all, after calling or texting to check up on our child, and I say, we love you too. At one point, I quit saying it because I felt it was interfering with my healing. But then I realized I was still holding him to the fire about his wrongdoings while we were in the relationship. He would also get butthurt when I wouldn't say it back. Don't get me wrong. Yes, I do love him, but when I say that I love him, what I really mean is that I have love for him. I mean, I laid down with the man and had a child with him, so of course I must have felt something for him, but it is nothing like romantic love at all now. What I would like to know is, should I not be engaging in this kind of behavior? Should I put a stop to it? Or am I just overthinking things? Of course, when I meet someone that I feel is worthy of my time and love, then I would definitely not be engaging in this kind of behavior. But right now, I am not interested in a relationship or being with anybody because I know that I still have healing to do. God bless and thank you for your time. Whenever you preparing for a relationship, you need to carry yourself as if you're in a relationship. You can't wait until the relationship shows up and then try to change your behavior. Because when you meet a man, let's just say he somehow sees your phone, or you looking on your phone, or you show him something, or he says, okay, how do y'all deal with each other? How do y'all talk with each other? And then you pull out your phone and to be transparent, or he asks you, can I see y'all conversation just to see how y'all talk to each other? I mean, that's your privacy, but it's kind of like a police asking you, can you search your car? They don't have a right, but if you ain't got nothing to hide, you may just say, yeah, go ahead. And so for whatever reason, let's say that's not the case, but how you going to act when you meet a man and then you try to all of a sudden change this, and then he get mad, your baby daddy get mad and show up at your place knocking on your door because now you won't say we love you too, when that's not even necessary. If the baby too young to say it, then Or you could just say, he loved you too. Or I don't know, I can't remember if you got a son or a daughter, if you said that. But you could say, baby, whoever loved you too. And yeah, he gonna get mad, he gonna get upset. But the reason why he'll get mad and upset is because that's control. That's him saying that is just to keep you stuck. It's just a control tactic. That's all that is. And so you have to let him know that you are over him by not engaging in that. So you could say it back from the baby, but he don't even care about it coming back from the baby. He doing it for you to keep you stuck because he know that's you saying that because the baby can't say it. So he knows that's you saying that and he taking it as you still love him and you still stuck on him and you not gonna be with another man. And it actually is blocking that side of your life because it got you in a place where you're not interested in a relationship or being with anybody because you know that I know that I still have healing to do. And yeah, you got healing to do, but that also is part of why you healing still because you left him at January 2021. It's February 2022. You ought to be healed by now. But you still need some healing. And you sent this February 5th. You still need healing because you still talking to him like that's your man. And you still saying, I love you. And don't ever feel like you overthinking things because the mind is so powerful. Words are so powerful. So every time what y'all have is a soul tie. And every time he say, I love y'all, and you say we love you too, you tightening that soul tie. You strengthening that soul tie. And so you need to be weakening the tie so that it eventually could be severed and you can move on with your life. And so that's what you got to understand on that right there. You know, don't get caught up. Don't get caught up. Y'all get stuck. When somebody leave you or you got to leave somebody, you have a child with, it has to become a business transaction. It can't nothing be lovey-dovey about it. It got to be a business transaction. So you got to understand that. So let me see here. Now this one kind of long. We'll see. This might take us on up to about 30 minutes. It's a little longer, but I don't know if it'll be a quality question. Hey, Tony, a huge thank you for being a light out there for those of us who never had a brother or a dad to bring us out of the darkness with God's help. I met him before I had the gift of finding your channel on YouTube. So I made all the classic mistakes. We met on YouTube. We're both YouTubers in the niche of self-healing after trauma and after a relationship with parents. His story seemed so close to mine that it just drew us incredibly close. I've talked to so many survivors throughout my life, but to never had someone be able to really understand where I come from. He lived it too, to the degree that I had, and he had healed to a degree. I hadn't met another man healed before, or so it seemed at the start. And so our connection, for me at least, and according to his words, was the deepest we've ever had with any human being. Yes, I've been through therapy. It's all good now. He's from a different country. We talk daily, sometimes for 8 hours. That felt like half an hour. We could talk about everything and anything, FaceTimed a lot, watch movies together online, had our little dates like that. I've seen his place. I do not believe a woman lives there. He'd been single for years before we started talking. Commitment was hard for him after being with a opposite girlfriend for many years prior. 3 months into our connection, he was supposed to fly over to meet me. Then and exactly then, the pandemic hit, and his dad suffered a serious health problem. So instead of letting me know he won't be able to make it or that he's going through this, he just disappeared, ghosted me. He's an introvert, doesn't talk about his feelings when he needs to. He deals with everything alone. He's super intelligent, was a Christian when we met, doesn't drink, smoke, do drugs, isn't into gaming, keeps a pretty healthy lifestyle, doesn't watch wicked stuff on the net, even keeps a no fap lifestyle as far as his words went. As far as his actions, he did initiate intimate conversations with me on the voice chats we had. And given the fact I was not born again at the time and didn't really know the game and my worth at the time, I gave into it as I was super attracted to him. We're both in our late 30s. I've healed immensely in that area since. So back to the story. When he disappeared, I was blessed by God with your channel, and I'm a doer. I decided to up my standards and keep the sexual stuff for my husband only. If I should have, if I should have, if I should have one day. Been abstaining now for 3.5 years with the help of Christ. After a month and a half of radio silence, and I did not message him even once, even though it was super tough, we came back into contact and tried again. I know I should have left the ghost in the silence, but I was so shocked as everything between us was so deep and healthy, and I lacked closure. He blamed the silence on losing his job and having a hard time dealing with stuff alone, being too disappointed by the fact he couldn't come to see me. BS radar is on. Long story short, we tried again, and for some weeks it seemed like he was really opening up more, and then bam, left me again, for no reason, again, out of nowhere, on the spot. Savage it was. I decided to move on, stayed strong in no contact for 2 months. He wrote me letters that really felt like hooks. I ignored them. They seemed like game to me and not sincere. Not open, not regretful or understanding of his actions. Then in September 2020, as I was preparing to move countries, I received an I love you from him. Out of the blue, he'd never said it before, and we hadn't spoken since he dumped me months prior. I wanted to believe him, so here I am again, for the third time putting my heart on the line. And he's serious. He's making plans with me to fly down to where I'm moving in the middle of and go through quarantine to meet me. And we're talking dates and plane tickets and logistics and risk. And I'm all packed. I'm moving anyway. He's saying all the right things. A week into speaking, literally days before my flight, he picks a fight out of nowhere with me. Mind you, we never fought before. We always conversed as mature adults. And this time, he tried really hard to create an out, probably. So I said my goodbyes to him and moved, all by myself. Escaped the full totalitarian regime, to be honest. To my relief, all glory to our Heavenly Father. Been living here and working really hard on forgetting him. I've never had such a hard time moving on from someone. I knew in my heart him to be my guy before all of the chaos started. Never felt this knowing before with any one of my exes. Half a year into no contact, he sends me a letter. Again, I had blocked him everywhere, but he managed to slide an email in. Tells me how he made the worst mistake of his life, not coming down to my country and meeting me. Tells me things I wanted to hear, and then vanishes again into thin air. Feels like that game where you hammer gnomes on the head when they pop up, you know. Was he trying to test the waters every single time with such words that are so hard to say, especially for an introvert? I cannot fathom this behavior as something coming from a person who helps victims of I'm beyond trying to decipher how many of us he had in his online harem, or if he has someone or some many in his own country. It's just beyond me how a man can say he's got the deepest connection with you one day, then vanish the next. And the connections was there. I mean, I'm not delusional, just too forgiving. but pulling away when intimacy is established, real emotional intimacy, even if he comes from a childhood, love transcends fear, doesn't it? I know everything you've said about long distance love, Tony, and yet my mind wants to trick me into believing I'm the exception, when I know facts scream that I'm just the everyday rule. A lesson for others to learn from and not repeat. I've learned from it. I guess I am looking to you, Tony, for a sober perspective. For I know well you'll give me one if you get to read this. How do I move on? I've tried being a Christian lady. I've tried everything a Christian lady can try. It's been 10 months since the letter he sent me, and I don't know if he's dead or alive, if it was all fake or not. Please help me make sense of the mind game so I can be free finally. May Father continue to bless you and your lovely family abundantly. Yeah. These letters getting worse and worse now. My goodness. Now see, this is what I be talking about. This is what I be talking about. Do y'all see now? Do y'all see now? I be trying to get people to understand this. And I be trying to get men to understand this. I be trying to get women to understand this. Do y'all see what women be going through? This is how my whole life been. Since I started doing this at 22 years old, trying to help women. It is the most draining job in the world. A lot of days you just feel like it is hard. And I do it, and I be having energy, and I have a peace from the Lord. And I pray before I do these. And I try to leave them right there. But to be one man and to have to hear thousands of stories, and then on top of hearing the thousands of stories of women just being at a man's mercy, I then also have to hear all the emails and feedback of women who are offended at something I said, and not realizing everything I say is out of love, when the men who intentionally trying to offend women got millions of supporters online. It's the craziest thing. And so this right here, and you get to a place to where you kind of run out of breath. So it's like, if y'all know that I've already spoke against something, then why email me about it? Like, long distance relationships are not real to me. And now you see why. So it's like, I really can't say anything that I haven't already said about long distance relationships. So the thing about it is, what you have to realize is, now for one, let me see here. I've seen your picture, because the picture you got on your Gmail, I've seen it because it stand out. It's just a unique picture. I've seen it in the comments on YouTube. Not here recently, but let me cut my, not that. That's my sound. I'm gonna see something. Okay. Yeah, that's the thing too with what y'all got going on. It's like, when what y'all got going on, when y'all dealing in this and y'all making YouTube channels on this stuff, and y'all just rolling in talking about all this trauma and all that, and that's all y'all talking about, and trying to become a expert on it, and having these channels, it's really just, it's setting you up for failure. It's just setting you up for failure. And because that's all you're thinking about, that's all you're talking about. And when you're doing that, you're losing your mind. And I could tell by the topics, I was able to search your name with your picture that you sent in. And I could see these topics. You got to get into something else. You know, you got to get into, you need to have a channel on cooking. You need to have a channel on, because when you're trying to heal and you're trying to get over stuff, you can't be dealing in all this deep, dark stuff, because it keep you stuck in that place. And that's why you can't see a man for who he is. And then that's also why you can't break free, because you actually haven't healed. You actually are not good. You say, I've been through therapy, I'm good. You're not good, because it's 2022 and you writing me about something from 2020. So that's something, and you haven't heard from him in 10 months and you writing about him. And the thing is so now what do you have? Because you doing these videos on this stuff, but when you think about it, what you going through? You going through trauma. But yet you still bonded with him. You still thinking about him, and you ain't heard from him in 10 months. Y'all never met in person. Y'all never seen each other in person. Y'all never slept together. Y'all see how real this stuff is? You can't play with it. And then the stuff that you dealing in on this channel is too dark. It's too many spirits. You're dealing with too much evil. Too many spirits. And all the way, and here's the thing, is when we dealing in these spirits, you got to change everything. You honestly have to change the way you do your eyebrows, the way you do your hair, the way you do the outline, your makeup. So it's kind of like when you take and you have, you create almost like a gothic look. That's also channeling spiritual as well. That's channeling spirits too. And then when the stuff that you watch and everything you look at is just dealing with deep, dark spiritual stuff, you keeping yourself trapped. You keeping yourself stuck. Your mind, everything in your life need to be light. Everything need to be light. You even need to be wearing light color shirts. Pink and teal and yellow. All your shirts need to have color, not black, not black and white. Everything need to be colorful. And you have to take and change things up. You might change your hairstyle, change your lipstick, you know, that black outline that you put around your eyes. This is a white female, and so it's a different look. Then, you know, with a black outline, than a black female. And so you have to change that, sis. So it's, and I'm going to tell you, you know, and you sign this letter, sister in Christ, listen, your page need to be about Christ then. Because this page, I don't see nothing on here about Christ. All this, right? And I see videos with all kind of, these videos dealing with demons and legions and all kind of stuff. It's like, sis, you got to come out the darkness. You in the darkness. And that's why you stuck with this man, and that's how he could play on you like that right now. And so for this clown that you're dealing with, really all this is just a game. It's just it's just a game. He's just playing games. He got a channel like you about trauma and overcoming and all of that. it's just a game. He insecure. When he ghosting, it's for the new woman that he's doing this to, which could be in person. He could have a whole girlfriend right there in his city. And so this just something, it's something that weak men, immature men, lost men, is something that they get off on. They really love that. And everything he said was lies. All of that was lies. Talking about no fap and all of that. He all lying. Because if a man is living that lifestyle where he not doing anything, no orange, no molestation, he not gonna be doing nasty voice messages, because that's increasing. So how he gonna? That's turning him on. That's getting him riled up. So what he gonna do? Just go to bed with that? No, that man lying to you. Everything he said was a lie, and then he showed you it was a lie. And so you got to realize. And then your question is, love transcends fear, doesn't it? Y'all don't have love. Absolutely, love transcends fear. Y'all don't have an ounce of love. He got you to fall in love because of where you still at, because you can't see through the bull. And then when he come back, you let him come back. You still entertain him. You still got him. He still got access to you. So he don't love you in the least. And so that's what you have to realize. And it's almost impossible for a man to fall in love with a woman he ain't never seen in person and hugged in person. That's men heart not built like that. That's how he able to do this to you. And this is what I try to get women to understand. And this is what I try to tell men. I try to tell men, like, come over here and see what these women putting up with. And then you're going to see who really losing right now in relationships. It's women. If men ain't suffering like this, it ain't a man in the world. I mean, other than, the men who, that handful of men. It's not, and when everything I say is I'm speaking on average. There's always exception to the rule, but y'all need to stop thinking you the exception to the rule. Like you trying to be the exception to the rule, and then you become the rule. And then you saying all this like you know what you're doing, but then you're doing the opposite. So it's worse to know and not do than to not know and not do. So you be better off not knowing. But to know and not do, that's gonna make it hurt worse. So listen, and this is the thing too, this is what I try to tell y'all too. For those who walk with the Lord, we really don't say the Lord that much. Like, I seen God and Christ in here so many times. And then you sign this: my Father continue to bless you and your lovely family abundantly in Jesus Christ's mighty name. Sincerely, a sister in Christ. But then your whole channel looked very, very dark. It looked like the opposite of Christ. And see, that's why I try to tell y'all that when you walking with the Lord, you move differently. You move differently. And I was telling my mentee this yesterday, to where we see men who, it always throw me off when a man don't really know me and we in public and he say, hey, let's pray. That's not how Christ worked. That's not how God worked. Like, we pray in private. We pray, you don't pray like the Pharisees. But then now it ain't now if you need to pray or whatever and you pray, but then your life got to line up with them prayers. And so what's happening is a lot of times is people they'll be, oh, let's pray. And then the next thing later they saying, hey, you want to smoke with me? And like, huh? Hey, you want to gamble with me? Huh? Didn't you just get done praying? And so this is the thing, when you really get to know Christ, it's more so about how you carry yourself. It's less about saying his name over and over and just interjecting God, 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 Christ, Christ, Christ. It's more so about where your heart at. See, when you know Christ, you're going to have strength. With the knowledge of the Lord comes strength. So when you got God, you have strength. You got strength to ignore people like this man. You got the strength to heal. You got the strength to overcome. You got the strength to walk in victory. You got the strength to heal from something that happened in 2020. you got the strength. You're not gonna deal with something or something, you ain't heard from in 10 months. So that's early 2021. You ain't heard from them. So when you really walking with God and you really tapping in and you really believing, you're gonna be able to pray for strength and then accept that strength and walk in that strength, and you're going to heal. And so you can't, we got to be careful that we're not playing with the name of God and that we're not making a mockery of God. Because if you're talking like this right here to me in this letter, I would imagine some of this coming out when you talking to him, that you talking to him like this. And so if you talking to him like this, but then he could keep ghosting you and keep showing up, then how is he going to believe that you live any of this? And so you got to realize that this man, he just playing games. He playing games. Let me see. This thing here wrote in some large old font now. Hi, Tony. I hope this email finds you well. Thank you for your work in the community. I have taken a lot from your videos. I'm reaching out because I love your opinion on my situation. I'm 24, almost 25, 2 kids, and single. Pre-children, I was dealing with a guy from high school, 2015-ish. We started off as really good friends, then ended up dating exclusively. We ended things shortly after he went off to college. I'm sure you know how that kind of thing goes. Anyways, we parted ways, and that's when I got involved with my child's father. It was a 4-year relationship. So I left him. Almost a year after leaving my kid's dad, I reconnected with my ex from high school. He asked me to dinner, we caught up, and I'd say we hit it off like we never missed a beat. We'd always had a very strong bond. That night, he asked me to come back to his apartment, which wasn't far away from the restaurant we were at, and I immediately told him, if you think I'm going to come back to your place and sleep with you, I'm letting you know now that isn't going to happen. He agreed that he understood and was just enjoying my company. After ensuring he knew I was serious, I agreed, as I was enjoying his company too, and wasn't ready to leave him. We made it to his apartment and we talked all night long until about 4 a.m. I fell asleep on his couch and left early morning. Nothing happened, although he did try to test me, but backed off immediately once I told him to. From then, we continued to talk on a regular basis. He always FaceTimes me throughout the day. He calls me before he goes to bed, and we'll fall asleep on FaceTime a lot of nights. He always initiates the calls and is very consistent. He is in the process of growing his businesses and is very busy, but still makes time to talk to me multiple times a day, and even makes the time to come see me or take me out often. He shares a lot with me. I'd say personal stuff. He talks about anything from work, both negative and positive, hardships and failures, trying to get his businesses off the ground, to even how much money he makes and pays to his employees. He's openly spoken about his past relationships, his shortcomings in them, as well as his exes. He's an open book with me. He tells me the good, bad, and the ugly, and I admire that about him. Throughout conversations, he's expressed that he's not ready for a relationship as his focus is his businesses. He's into both home and commercial remodeling and building. So it is very time consuming and he doesn't want to be distracted, and that he's not ready to be in a situation with children involved. He said that to me a few weeks ago. Some days he has home projects going on during the day and will have commercial projects overnight during their closing hours. He often travels short notice for work projects, so I completely understand why he isn't in a position for a relationship. Since he's told me that, he's still been very consistent with me, and recently told me that he has feelings for me. I told him I had feelings for him as well. Since then, I have done a lot of thinking about what he said his focus is, and the issue being that we both have feelings arising for each other. Knowing that I have 2 children, I have to date very intentionally. So I had a conversation with him, letting him know that I had to end things with him. I explained that I couldn't allow myself to get any deeper in how I felt for him, as he, reasonably so, can't commit to me right now, and ultimately, in time, my children as well, as he has a lot on his plate with his businesses. I made it clear to him that I appreciated his honesty and that I understood and supported him in building his future first. He seemed to take it okay, but on the phone, he then went on to say that he has deep feelings for me and cares about me a lot, and now he's saying my kids aren't an issue for him. He said he wouldn't have a problem supporting us, which I never asked for a dime from him, so I'm unsure why he felt he had to say that. He then followed up and saying, in a perfect world, it could all work out. But we both have unique situations and he cannot press the brakes while he's trying to get his businesses off the ground. I know my kids are a drawback for him, which I get. They aren't his kids, but it seems like now he's almost considering changing his stance by saying he could support us. Again, I wouldn't allow him or anyone to financially support my kids unless married. I don't know what to think. He seemed very conflicted, but again, I reassured him he was making the right decision, building his foundation before dating. I can tell it's bothering him that I've ended things. My brother-in-law says I was too quick to cut him off due to past trauma and fear. I'd like to think I did the right thing for us both, but should I have given it more time? I almost feel like this a right person, wrong time situation, but I know you said love will trump all. My conquer all. Let's not use that man's name. My question is, did I cop out before love could trump our situation? And, is it possible that he could have balanced both had I gave our relationship time to grow to that point? I've known this man for almost a decade, and I can say that he's an honest, family-oriented, kind, and loving person. Even when we were out of touch while in my 4-year relationship, I kept up with his mom on Facebook and thought about him often. We've always had an amazing connection. His family liked me and mine liked him. Our communication is great. We're very like-minded and our personalities mesh well. We've only had a couple disagreements throughout knowing each other, but I can't say we've ever actually argued or had unhealthy communication. He's calm and handles his emotions well. We've always been very comfortable around each other. With him, I can be myself, and I can tell he lets his guard down with me as well. I hope that gives you a perspective on the bond we have and why I'm so conflicted in my decision to end things. By the way, he is 24, going on 25 in a few months. I greatly appreciate your insight on my situation. Thank you, and God bless you and your family. For one, it sounds like he's doing amazing to be having any kind of real estate going on at 24 years old. Two, I don't think he was wrong at all. This whole letter and reading this from a male perspective, to me, and it's just my opinion, it sounds like he's just using you for comfort. It's almost like he sees you as a friend, but he wouldn't mind getting the benefits from you. He has taken value off of you because now you've had 2 children. So because of the mindset of a grown boy, which he's a grown boy because he's 24 years old. Men don't really become men till 25 or start becoming a man at 25. But just how the man in the dark tells men and tells women that when you've had children, that you like a used car. So that mindset has permeated society. And one of the things is true about men is that when men see a woman has had a child, he feels like, okay, she's going to be easy. And this is going to be easier. And this is nothing new to her. This is like riding a bike. Not only has she ridden the bike, but she's learned how to do tricks on the bike. Meaning you've pushed children out of you, which is way harder and way more painful than just sleeping with a man. So it makes a man assume that you just down for the cause, that you're going to be willing to be sexual. And so what he's looking for in his life right now, he's kind of looking for like free prostitution. He see, this is the thing what men always lie about. He doesn't want to be in a relationship with you at all, but he's telling you that he has deep feelings for you and he's willing to support y'all. And he's saying he don't want to hit the brakes on his business and he don't want to be distracted, but yet he calling you every day. So it's no different than being in a relationship, because then when you're in a relationship, all you're doing is calling the woman every day and FaceTiming the woman and picking her up to go on dates. Like, he's doing all of that. So he in a relationship. He's not doing anything more than he would have to do, or anything less than he would have to do in a relationship. So anytime a man is doing what you do in a relationship but saying he doesn't want a relationship, that means that he wants you as a friend with benefits, and he wants to put you on a roster and use you for your body because he is familiar with you. So y'all get along so well because he just sees you as a friend. But it's no such thing as a male and female friend. A male will use his female friend for her body part. And so you have to think about this, like, if y'all were the last two people on earth and y'all were best friends, at some point, if y'all want a connection, a human connection, y'all will have to turn that friendship into something intimate, and y'all will use each other for your body parts for the human connection. Regardless of how well y'all know each other and all of that. And what you said in here too is also bad, and this is what I want to tell every man and woman. When you leave somebody, you have to cut off everything when you go into another relationship. One of the things you did wrong, which is very wrong to your child's father, is by keeping up with his mama, because you have a soul tie with this man. So when he cut you off when he went to college, you kept up with his mama and you thought about him often. Now, how do you think your child father feel if he know you was thinking about another man while you was with him, and you thought about this other man often while you was with him? But not that it just popped up in your head, but you put yourself in that position to think about this other man by keeping up with his mama, when you could have unfriended his mama on Facebook and she would have never known. She too old to know how that even worked, and she ain't even all that in depth with it. For those of y'all that his mama age and you know how that work, and you could tell and you check to see if people unfriended you, then I'm not talking about you. Cause I be getting emails. Tony, I am really offended, and I have unsubscribed because I am the age of that young man's mother, and I just do not like how you just try to act like we so old and we don't know how to use social media. And I'm like, listen, you taking it too personal. It was not about you. I call myself old at 37. I have to say that, y'all, because y'all don't get to hear all that and see all that because y'all ain't over here with me. All this here stuff I got to be dealing with. And it be hundreds of women writing me with everything they upset about. And it's like, listen, I'm married to Cherie Gaskin. I do not care what now other woman got to think about me. I am married to Cherie Gaskin. That's the only woman that I care about how she think and feel about me. Every other woman out here, I'm trying to help and serve from a place of love. And if you can't appreciate that and you can't respect that, then you could kick rocks with open toe flip-flops. And to the men too. Same thing to the men. This one person, one human that I care about their opinion, and that's Cherie Gaskins. And outside of that human, I care about God's opinion of me. So I just want to share that with y'all, because On this side, I always be, and I just have to block people. Oh, I'm upset. Oh, I'm unsubscribed. I'm finna help you unsubscribe. Block. I don't care. Leave and don't let the door hit you. You ain't got to tell me. It's like, listen, I got work to do. Doing the work of the Lord. You think everybody was pleased with Jesus? With Paul? With Moses? With David? With Solomon? With Job? Anybody got a work of the Lord to do, you going to offend people. Point blank, period. Because at the end of the day, we still humans too. So listen now. Y'all got to sit with this here truth that I'm going to be sharing on this here video. Because it ain't going to be easy. It ain't going to be easy to hear the truth, but you hearing the truth from a place that's trying to help you and not hurt you. So sister, you playing yourself. And I'm going to tell you this right here. I'm going to tell you one thing about love. And like you say, love conquers all. Love does conquer all, just like the last letter. As love conquers fear, don't it? Yes, love conquers all. But what y'all have to realize is these men don't love y'all. These men don't love y'all. Y'all falling for these men before these men fall for y'all. I try to tell y'all, it take a man 2 years of daily communication with a woman to fall in love. A man not gonna tell you that though. And so yes, women be confused. Well, Tony, if you say a man ought to propose at 12 months, but he don't fall in love till 2 years, how do that make any sense? As men, we get married not in love. You hear it got to be the foundation of love in the sense of you know that you love this person. But men don't get married in love. And that's why you see a lot of people together 10 years and still not married because the man waiting to fall in love. I heard John Hagee, who was a pastor, he say, listen, if you got half a mind to get married, and God will make up the rest. And I never forgot that, and I believe that because as a man never really, honestly, truly ready for marriage. Now, I married my wife. I wasn't in love. I loved her. I had love for her, but I wasn't in love because as men, we not raised for love. We not really shown love. We not taught love. Like love is foreign to 9.9 out of 10 men. Love is a foreign thing. And so you got to realize that. You got to realize and understand that. And this is what I try to tell women. Y'all heart so ready to love and so open for love. And y'all take a man, and if a man take one step in good faith, y'all give him 10 steps. A man have a 1 hour conversation with you on the phone and you'll think about him the next 23 hours. And so now you've given that man 24 hours of credit for 1 hour of work. And you got to stop doing that. You got to have words that says that you saying to yourself, this means nothing. This means nothing until he shows that it means something. This means nothing until he shows that it means something. Nothing means anything but his actions. What are his actions showing? And are his actions lining up with his words? If he's saying one thing and doing another, he's sending mixed signals. If he's sending mixed signals, then he can't be trusted. So you got to be locked in on this. You got to pay attention to this. And you got to get to a place to where you stop falling in love. Now, you did the right thing cutting him off. You did the right thing. But see, here's the thing. This man is out here doing real estate. He trying to tackle these projects. Now, I'm not fully sure that these night projects is commercial projects. If they commercial projects and y'all super cool, you could have got you a babysitter a couple nights and gone out there to the site, seeing what they doing. Since you was best friend, is you want to show your best friend what you're working on. So another thing, what you can't hardly believe too is what men be saying about what they got going on in their job and what all that right there. If you don't see it yourself, it might not be real. If you don't see a direct deposit of what he say he make, it might not be real. Not men, we lie about stuff like that big time. We lie about stuff like that big time. They can have that man putting that little wet stuff on top of the brick before they stick the other brick on top of it. That could be his job out there. And that man got you thinking he a mini real estate mogul doing big things. That honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. Cause if he that guy, he can invite who he wanna invite down there to the site. Hey, come on, look what we looking. We doing this here. We building this here 12 unit, 30 unit, 400 unit. Hey, look at this house I just got. You know, I'm remodeling right now. That man might be out there twiddling his thumbs. And so listen, the man told you he don't want no situation with no kids. If this what y'all have to realize about men. We don't care nothing. We do not care nothing about a woman having kids. That do not bother a man in the least if he like that woman. When a man bring your kids up as a pushback or something, that mean he don't like you. That mean he don't see you like that, because the kids is a part of you. They come out of you. Those your kids, they a part of you. So a man who is into you gonna be into them kids. A man who not into them kids, he's not into you. That's what that means. Because these kids kids don't scare a man. Kids don't intimidate a man. Because a man, I know, if I go into a young man life and I talk to him as a man, that boy gonna respect me. I don't care how old he is. I don't care if he 2. I don't care if he 22. I don't care if he 42. He gonna respect me as a man. That's one thing that a man knows. So a man not intimidated or afraid or scared of your kids. What it be is he don't want you. And he used the kids as an excuse. That means he don't like you enough. But see, this is the thing. This man out here is a dreamer trying to do stuff, quote unquote, so he say. So men hate, not men, humans hate to lose. Women the same way. Man tell a woman he don't want her, she want to do anything in the world to make him want her. She starts seeking his approval nonstop. And that's a mind trick that men play on women. So what you told him, that's also a mind trick. Because you told him that, but then you sitting here on this letter and you really don't believe what you told him. You really didn't want to say that. You really just kind of said that really kind of just to push his hand. Because if you really felt like that, you wouldn't be asking me. You wouldn't be asking your brother-in-law. And your brother-in-law don't know what he talking about you cut it off too soon. But your brother-in-law ain't got all the details. Brother-in-law don't know this man trying to sleep with you and could put the 3rd child in you, and then y'all ain't married. Brother-in-law don't realize that this man, if he doing the job he doing, he just be tired and drained. He need him a little release, so he wants you as his bucket. He wants you as his bucket. That's it. And what we like to do is we like to have our wives to ourselves. So brother-in-law wants you to have you a man so you can stop calling his wife so much. And so you can stop calling him so much so that you can find you something to do. He wants you to have your family over there. He wants you to have a man so you go on about your business. Because as men, we want our wives to ourselves. You know, unfortunately, that's a human trait, though. That's a human thing. Women be the same way with their husband. They don't want their husband talking to his brother all the time, talking to his sister all the time, talking to his mama and dad all the time. Like, as humans, when we get in a relationship, we want our spouse to be our best friend. And if they on the phone an hour a day with other people, that's an hour that they giving away. And you know, you get used to it in a healthy relationship, and you understand in a healthy relationship. But for example, my wife, she don't talk to her parents or anything in front of me. She give them the time when she's away from me. When she in the car going somewhere or coming back, she give them that time. And then when she's with me, she give me my time. And even when I'm in here giving y'all her time, she be sitting and waiting on me or working or doing her thing, doing whatever. But my wife rarely is on the phone with somebody, a friend or anybody in front of me. And sometimes they just calling this, I'm like, hey, go ahead, answer the phone, I don't care. And she giving advice to a friend about their relationship. But because they call her, because they see she married and happy, so they'll call and ask her. And, she'll coach them. But other than that, it's like she give me my time. This right here, saying this why information and advice from a in-law is always gonna be a little skewed. And so, and then too, he a man. You don't know if he being faithful to your sister either. So the thing about it is you have to be careful who you taking advice from. And you got to make sure you know what you know. Now, if you honestly believe everything in you and your sister believe everything in you, this is a good guy, he giving you advice. But that's bad advice though. But you also can't ask nobody for advice if you ain't gonna tell them the whole story. So if you ain't tell him all you told me, then his advice could be spot on. But if you told him all of this, you spending the night at the man place and all that, and he tried you, and you had to tell him to chill out, and then he chilled out, that's baby number 3 right there. So it ain't gonna be, since you sent me this email on February 6th and all this here thinking you had, you probably done reverse course by now. You could have done reverse course by now, went and hopped on that pole, went to singing karaoke since this here email came in, and I hope not. I hope you have not. And so listen to me. This ain't what it is. You comfortable for them, but remember, familiarity breeds contempt. So eventually it's going to turn into something a little different. And the other thing what you have to realize is that when a man wants you, he don't let you get away. A man know, even a boy know if you his wife. Even in high school, he know if you his wife. So when he went to college, you dealing with this guy, 2015-ish. Y'all started off really good as friends, then dating exclusively. We ended things shortly after he went off to college. So when he went to college and he ended it with you, that's your sign right there. He said, you're not my wife. Because a man ain't got no problem keeping a woman as his woman if he feel like you the one. I say long distance relationships ain't real, but a man, that don't mean a man gonna give you up if he feel like you the one. He gonna make it real. He gonna make you think he's the exception to the rule. And he could be. I had a guy in college who was real faithful to his girlfriend who's back home. But even in his faithfulness, meaning he didn't do what the rest of us did by sleeping with actual people, but he still went on dates. He went on dates with other women in college. So imagine how his woman back home would have felt if she knew he was going on dates. That would have been cheating. But that was the faithful as it got amongst men who was in college playing football and had what that is? Oh, that's the clothes getting dropped off from the cleaner. Yeah. Heard somebody at the front door. But that's the clothes from the dry cleaner. Got this thing over here where we live at with the dry cleaner to where they come pick up your clothes and go dry clean them, and then they bring them back. Pick them up on Tuesday, bring them back on Thursday. It's real helpful, but man, hey, true. That thing be about $700-800 a month when I see it. When I see that bill, every now I look at the account, I'm like, all this was dry cleaning, like we wearing this many clothes? Hey, a lot of times folks don't realize that, man. A lot of times people don't realize, like, you be looking at stuff and you see stuff, life, and you don't be understanding sometimes what all come with it when you start to build. And this is the thing I heard a man telling yesterday. He a financial planner, and he was saying he had got a client that got $2 million. Got $2 million in his retirement account, and that the wife be crying. Just, I don't know if we got enough money. And the man said, listen, financially and based on the numbers, y'all got enough money for y'all retirement. This is enough money for y'all retirement based on y'all budget. And said the wife was so relieved because she just felt like they just didn't have enough money. They never have enough money. And that's a different type of pressure too that be on men that a lot of times women don't think about. That providing that women want, that take a lot now. And so that's why it's such a viable excuse that men also flip and use like this. Hey, I'm trying to get my business off the ground. So let me use you as a bucket to go and deposit into you, but let me not give you a commitment because I'm not ready for a relationship because I'm trying to get my business off the ground. That business might never get off the ground. So a man ought to secure love because that business, that thing, the market could crash next year, this year, later this year. That business might never get off the ground. He might have to pivot, do something else, change course. But love ain't gonna just be sitting there just waiting around. A man got to secure love if he sees that he see love. If he sees a woman he could love, if he sees a woman he got those kind of feelings for, he got to realize that that feeling ain't gonna come all the time and every time. Like you really love a woman, secure that relationship. Get that woman a commitment, get that woman your heart, and you build from there. Business ain't going nowhere. Business ain't going nowhere. You could build business around your relationship. Secure the relationship that you have right in front of you if you got that staring you in the face. Now, if you ain't got it, keep doing business. But when you got it and you love somebody and you really feel like this the one, make her the one. It's like men get greedy. You get greedy and you end up with nothing because you get greedy. And it's like, yeah, you could wait for somebody else that's taller or a different complexion, different nose, different hair, different shape. But okay, you wait and you get that person, but now you don't like their personality. So now they got all the looks, but y'all don't really get along. So it's like if you get along with somebody like best friends and you love this person and you got feelings for this person and y'all really click, make it official, make it happen. And yeah, you're going to see other women who look better, who look more in shape, who look this and that. But it's like, okay, that don't mean nothing because that's going to fade. But what won't fade is that connection that you have when you can build and bond with somebody and y'all could be on the same page. So listen, that's what you got to understand. So, hey, God bless y'all. I'm wishing you the best. Phone about to die. Wishing you the best on this here. Did this little mashup, got through these letters. And I'm going to tell you, it is draining. It is draining. It's trying, you know, I'm powering through. But boy, these here letters get to be something. And this is why I stopped doing talks with Tony for so long. And y'all women don't be caring. Tony, can you do this as well? Can you add this kind of video? And Tony, can you add that kind of video? I was like, my goodness. How much you want me to add? Nah, I can't do everything. Nah, come on, nah. My goodness. That's why the man in the dark be over there cussing y'all out. Because everybody ain't built for it. Everybody can't handle all the demands and all the requests and all the, you know, redundant questions. And so it's like, listen, we got to do the work. You got to do the work. Got to do the work. And shout out to the women that's doing the work now. And y'all take it easy. Because listen, I be seeing some of y'all ladies be going off on y'all other sisters. Listen, that's a shame. You listened to Tony's video for 2 years and you wrote in with this here letter. Listen, I know you ain't mean nothing by it. I ain't coming down on you. I ain't coming down on you because I get it. Sometimes people need to come to the comments and see from other people how this situation sound. I get it. I get it. Y'all just try not to use no cuss words and try not to call people and don't call people names. Don't use cuss words and don't call people dumb. Don't call people stupid. Don't call people, you know. don't beat up on people. But it's okay to say, listen, you need to get yourself together. You need to wake up and smell the folders in the morning, fold the cemetery, and get this thing together. So, hey, this Tony Gasson. God bless you. Hopefully I have this up here soon. God bless you. We'll talk.